So one of our next steps after our IUI failed, we did a follow-up appointment with Dr. Conway at Idaho Fertility Center, and here's my dog, she wants to be pet. And we are pursuing IVF if our insurance doesn't require 3 IUIs prior. When we call our insurance, they tell us that we meet all the requirements to move on to IVF and receive the benefit, and our fertility doctors are saying that anytime that they have worked with our insurance before, that there's always the requirement to do 3 IUIs prior to moving on to IVF. So we're putting in a pre-authorization for that, trying to figure out if that will work for us and kind of be a next step that we can do. Otherwise, we will definitely go through the steps just because our insurance is willing to pay to some extent. It's definitely worth that versus no payment at all or no benefit at all. So we did have our financial consult this morning, and that was kind of crushing, honestly. I feel like I'm back to our 2021 or 2022 January when we were trying to work with Shady Grove Fertility Center in Maryland, and we got the news of how expensive it would be to do an IUI, which that was like crushing then, and we've come a long way financially, but we'll see. IVF is so expensive, and even with what our insurance benefits can help with, it's still a lot. So anyway, I have this morning been doing a ton of research on possible grants that we might apply to. I've already started applying to one of them. One of the tricky things is usually there's like a fall and a spring grant, and so we've got like right now stuff doesn't open till January for stuff being available in June. So like the grant closes and recipients are awarded in June. So it's like that's still a long ways out, which is not like that would be fine if it works, and that would be super, super helpful if we can get a grant, but we'll see. There's only a couple that I've found so far that we can even apply to, and then there's still an application fee as well, and then it's still like up in the air if you would even win it. So we'll see. I'm doing tons of research on like what are ways to save money on asking your provider to put in requests for like generic brands instead of the name brands of medications and things like that, so that we can get those costs lower. And I think I'm probably gonna do another no-buy. Last year I did a no-buy year, and that is one of the super helpful things that got us to the place where we could buy our house where we're living now. And so maybe I'll do another no-buy year. Back then I was working, so I had like a second income that was mostly going all towards savings. And so now that I'm at home with the kids, I'm not making that anymore. So we'll see how it all goes. That's kind of where we're at and kind of what we're up against too. Okay, it has definitely been a minute since I have done an update. So I'll start from where we left off. We had our first IUI we did in October 27th of 2023, and that one failed based on a blood work draw on November 10th. That was 2 weeks after, and then I started my cycle day 1 on the 12th. Then with that, kind of mourning all of that loss and just the trickiness of all of that, we wanted to move forward with IVF. So we had an appointment with our fertility doctor, and with our insurance, they have in the past needed 3 IUI attempts before being able to move forward with IVF. So we decided to submit the request to insurance anyway, because based on everything that we can find online, and we've called our insurance before and asked them that, and they said that those are not prerequisites. Either way, I had a financial call with the people. We had them submit to insurance, and then I did some calendaring with the clinic for January. So we were set up to do a January cycle, and we would cancel if by December 18th it hadn't gone through, or we hadn't heard back from them, just so somebody else could get on that January spot. So on the 12th of December, we had our denial from insurance, and we were pursuing the IVF piece and then ICSI. And we will do ICSI no matter what, but it's not covered by our insurance, so we will have to pay for that. But just with the semen analysis and things that we've seen, it's just better odds if we just use ICSI. So we will end up doing that. But during that time, after we got those results from insurance, we decided to just take a break. We weren't coming to Idaho Falls for any of the holidays, and we were kind of mid-projects. We were finishing our basement, and so kind of in the middle of all of that as well. So luckily, the next time we came here to Idaho Falls actually ended up landing on day 5 of my cycle. And so we did the follicle scan, a transvaginal ultrasound for that, and then blood work. And I started our second IUI cycle with Femara. So it was interesting because I had completely forgotten all the side effects of Femara, and I have had almost exactly the same ones that I had before. So day 1, I didn't really have any symptoms. Day 2, I was definitely crampy and tired. My sister has a little dog, and he was like laying on my lap, and I was like, oh, it's a perfect little heat pad, because it was just like keeping me nice and warm. And then day 3, I was super bloated, like extremely bloated. I'm really grateful that most of the time I just wear like stretchy pants, because that was definitely key. And I also had super restless sleep that night. I was just up like every couple hours, and even the sleep within those hours was not very deep. And then day 4, I've had a headache and some mild bloating, and so we'll see what happens with day 5. But tomorrow is day 5, and I am going in for it's actually day 9 follicle scan. But last time when we talked to our doctor, we were like, if we did anything different next time, what would it be? And she said maybe we would do things a day earlier. So because our clinic doesn't do ultrasounds over the weekend, Saturday and Sunday is when that would fall, and so we're doing the ultrasound on Friday to hopefully do an IUI on Monday, and that way because we leave out of town Monday night. So fingers crossed that actually works. Otherwise, we might have to stick around for Tuesday, but we will see how all that goes. I got my box delivered here in the mail of all of the meds that I'll need, and I did an unboxing of that. Okay, today I just got my next package. We're actually in Idaho Falls, so I am going to open it here. This is my meds for our IUI number 2, and something that I will say is look into fertility lifelines and compassionate care, because my insurance covered a little bit of our meds the first time. Mine's a box so different than last time. But then I applied for those, especially because if we're moving forward with IVF, I definitely want those meds to be covered. And I looked into it. I applied to both of them. The first one I got, and it was 50% off, and then since I had that one, you were able to just like say that you have other fertility meds that are 50% off, and just like sent the card, and it was like $100 cheaper this time for these meds, specifically Pregnal. Was cheaper. The other one I don't think changed at all, but it was $100 cheaper than the last time I got this. Okay, so first I have Pregnal, which is the injection, and then the powder that you have to mix, and then this one is my refrigeration one. These are the suppositories, so I already know what these look like. I'll just open this up and then stick these in the fridge to use later, and this I will need as our trigger shot right before we have our IUI, which hopefully will be on Monday, depending on my follicle scan that is tomorrow. So we'll see after that. Okay, so on Friday I had my ultrasound done. When we did the ultrasound, that was day 9, and I'm glad I pushed to have it that day, because we did decide to do the IUI on Monday, and the doctor thought we would have missed it if we had come in on Monday for the ultrasound and done the IUI on Tuesday. So I did my trigger shot on Sunday night, and then, well, Sunday midday, and then we came in for a 2 o'clock IUI on Monday, which actually, it was interesting because it was a little more painful this time than last time, which I thought was just odd, but it is what it is. And then it's been 2 weeks, so today I am here at the hospital to get my HCG blood drawn. Last time I had results within like 4 hours, so we'll see. And then my clinic did call me once they got the results, but I since it's close to my house and I have my chart with them, I'll get the results first, so we'll see. I did have lots of cramping this morning, which happened last time, the same day that I had my HCG, and so I'm not super hopeful that this one was successful. One thing that we definitely will be bringing up when we talk to our clinic again is my endometrium. When they scanned it on day 5, was in the 4 range. It was 4 point something, and then on day 9 it was still 4 point something, and they did end up having me do estrase again, and this time it was 8 doses. But I'm definitely gonna bring that up because maybe that's our problem. At 4, that's really low. Usually it has to be like 8 millimeters, and so I'm definitely gonna be following up on what we can do about that.